The rise and fall of Mortem Metallum. Mortem Metallum was once one of the most popular fighting games on Roblox. The game has over 180 million visits and more than 500,000 favorites. At its peak, thousands of players were playing it, but today the original game is no longer available to play. So what happened to Mortem Metallum? Mortem Metallum was released in 2019 by Ender 1709. At the time, Roblox had many popular simulator games, but Mortem Metallum offered something completely different. Instead of grinding or collecting items, players could simply join a server and fight. The game featured different weapons including swords, axes, bows and spears. It also became known for its ragdolls, blood effects and chaotic combat. Most of the gameplay was based around fighting other players rather than buying upgrades or becoming stronger through grinding. Mortem Metallum quickly became one of the more popular fighting games on Roblox. The combat was simple, but matches could become very chaotic. Players could use different types of weapons and had to react what was happening around them. At its peak, the game reached over 6,500 concurrent players. Over time, it passed 180 million visits and over 500,000 favorites. The game was also featured in videos from Roblox creators, which helped it bring more attention to it. For a while, Mortem Metallum had a large and active player base. Eventually, however, the game stopped giving meaningful updates. Bugs and other problems remained in the game while the developer became less active. At the same time, newer fighting games started appearing on Roblox. One example was Combat Warriors, which offered similar PvP combat while continuing to give updates. As newer games became more popular, Mortem Metallum gradually became less active. What happened to the developer? Ender 1709 eventually became inactive. There were no major updates, no clear roadmap and very little communication with the community. Because of this, players began considering the original Mortem Metallum abandoned. The exact reason Ender 1709 stopped working on the game isn't publicly clear. However, the game remained on Roblox for years without significant development. Even though the original game stopped developing, people still wanted to keep the gameplay alive. Several developers created versions and remakes inspired by Mortem Metallum. One of the better known community versions is maintained by Null Sites, which aims to recreate and improve the original experience. These projects allowed players to continue experiencing gameplay similar to the original Mortem Metallum. Why is the original game gone? Eventually, the original Mortem Metallum became private on Roblox. This happened after Roblox introduced its maturity and complaint system, which requires experienced creators to provide information about the content in their games. Because Ender 1709 was no longer active, the required questionnaire appears to have never been completed. As a result, the original experience became unavailable to the public. So even though Mortem Metallum still exists, regular players can no longer access to the original game. Mortem Metallum went from being a popular Roblox fighting game to becoming an inactive and eventually inaccessible experience. It reached more than 180 million visits, built a large community and became a memorable part of Roblox for many players. Today, the original game is private, but its gameplay continues through the community remakes. And that's what happened to Mortem Metallum. See you later.